presence. Now let's do one together. What is vibing? This is Vish, and today I will be sharing the reflection from Karma, the book by Sadhguru, and I will be making this a completely raw, uncut, unedited video for this reflection, as well as the sharing of certain realizations. And the reason for that is because for things that are very special and especially important to me, I like to make them raw and uncut. And so that applies to this book. So there will be no edits, and I will be talking from the heart or the soul, or let's just say from the consciousness. And I will appreciate your presence as well as patience as I do share this. And also, if you wouldn't mind, certain things that I say that might be a little wrong or maybe not the most accurate. Like I said, this is completely uncut, and so just want to preface with that. With that being said, Karma, a yogi's guide to crafting your destiny by Sadhguru. I would highly encourage you, even if you have to take a quick second to pause the video right now, to order this book. It's a beautiful book written by a beautiful being, and I'm so grateful for Sadhguru. Truly. And in this video, I'll be talking about, I guess, a little bit about what got me to want to read the book. Then I'll be going through a bit of the high-level things he's talked about, meaning high-level as in just very overview, brief type of understanding from the book. And then exploring a few of the sutras that he talks about in this book. And I do want to also preface by saying that I will not be giving too many summaries or even details about the book itself. I want you all to read this because of how beautiful it is. And also because I do not feel like I have the authority to say that I represent this book's wisdom, that what I've realized is the truth per se. It's a truth within the level of consciousness that I have, but that might be different from you. And I also don't want to influence you by no means when you read this book. This is really just an encouragement video as to why you should read it, and maybe some things that might help you with getting started with the book if you didn't know much about Karma itself or even Sadhguru. So let's first start by talking about Sadhguru. Sadhguru is a yogi, mystic, and visionary who is truly enlightening the world. I'm so grateful for the presence that he has, and he is truly helping to share the wisdom with the world, and he is doing amazing things. And as I've realized, he will usually never directly answer questions. Usually, that's a key word. And the reason for that is a lot of these profound and deep questions about life, giving a one-word answer to it will not do the justice. It needs to be an experience answering the question of itself, and that is what the truth is. As I've realized, the truth is really just an experiential answer, and it's a very beautiful thing which I've realized on this journey of spirituality. So with that being said, let's talk about how much of an impact Sadhguru has been having on the planet. And in the back of the book, over here, you'll notice a bunch of praises from notable celebrities, which is actually a factor as to what got me into wanting to read the book. And some of these people you will for sure know. This includes Will Smith, Tom Brady, Tony Robbins, Deepak Chopra, HRH, Princess Noor bint Assem of Jordan, Rosanna Arquette. And I'm going to quickly read their praises. Starting off with Will Smith. With Karma, Sadhguru explores both the limitations and possibilities of human existence. It is full of valuable insights to guide you to live a life of fulfillment and well-being. Beautifully said, Will Smith. Tony Robbins. Karma is a thoughtful and life-affirming reminder of our vast capacity to affect positive change in our own life and in the lives of others. A must-read for anyone feeling stuck and hopeless. He's a beautiful motivational speaker, and Will Smith, as you all know, is just a world-renowned Hollywood actor. At last, a book about karma that can be trusted. I've never found a book that explains and solves the mystery of karma with the simplicity, clarity, and hopefulness of this invaluable book, Deepak Chopra. And the last one that I especially connect with, and this is the most memorable one, is Tom Brady. Forget what you think you know about karma. Sadhguru shows us it is not a punishment for bad behavior, but a vehicle for transformation and empowerment. This book will put you back in charge of your own life. You see, Tom Brady was a superhero for me when I was growing up. Honestly fell in love with the man when I was in 2nd grade, and as Sadhguru says, don't look up or don't look down at anyone, look straight. I've definitely learned to now just look straight at him, but I definitely have so much love for the man. Tom Brady is the man. Quarterback for the Patriots, at least he used to be. Now he's with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But with that being said, these are beautiful people who have highly endorsed the book, and it's just another reason. I mean, Sadhguru is truly doing amazing things. You see, there's a lot of enlightened beings, and he's never explicitly said that he's enlightened, but as he says, I mean, the Buddha himself was not the only enlightened being. There's actually many enlightened beings, even in today's day and age. And so it's all about what makes him special or sets him apart is that he's able to convey this enlightenment or directions for enlightenment to the world with such power and eloquence. I mean, he's making his way into Hollywood with Will Smith, connected to Jay Shetty, who's also a beautiful and amazing wisdom celebrity. Logan Paul, even the king of YouTube in a way, he was able to get on his podcast. Sadhguru is truly making strides, and I even saw this recent story post where he was with Demi Lovato, amazing singer. So, nevertheless, Sadhguru is doing beautiful things. And now let's talk about karma and what it really is from a very brief standpoint. And before I get into what it is, let me explain to you what it isn't. You see, the word karma, yoga, meditation has been so loosely and misunderstood as well as misused in the West. And I do have to say, I mean, it's really nice to see the West adopt Eastern spirituality, but a lot of it has been in a way transformed or really just taken, like a slice of the wholeness of what it really is. So that is why this video hopefully will help clear up a few of the confusions and misunderstandings that you have. And again, more of that clarity will definitely come about from when you read this book, Karma. Beautiful book, again. So what is karma not? As Tom Brady says, drop what you know about karma and forget it. It's not really that whole bad karma or bad action, not even action, but really just, it's not the whole destiny, fate type of thing that a lot of us tend to associate it with. For instance, we slip and fall on a banana. That was my bad karma. Well, you're not completely wrong, but you're also not completely true. And that is where, when you explore this book, you will understand what it really is. And so, this whole, notion that it's destined and that you don't have any control over it, well, again, that gets debunked in this book. As Tom Brady, again, beautifully says, you will learn how to realize how karma is a vehicle for transformation and empowerment. You will stop sitting in the back seat and actually be in control of the wheel from the book. So, this is the main gist of what I have to share about the overalls of the book. And now I'll be looking a bit more in depth of the chapters of just really explaining the sutras, the introductions, and how beautiful they are, and sharing that with you and the realizations I've had from this. And so, let's start with that. First, let's start with what a sutra is actually. So, a sutra, as I've learned from Sadhguru, is really just kind of like a string or stitching in a way. And as he beautifully puts it, everything, literally, I mean, even the example he provides is like a necklace, let's just say, or even the flower garland that's very popularly used in India with weddings and so on. It might seem insignificant, but literally without the string, the necklace or the garland is not possible. It is a fundamental basis for everything, in a way. So with that being said, each sutra is like a string of, let's just say, a realization. So with that being said, let us start. And I'm going to keep these brief because I really want you to read this book. So let's see, where are we going to start? Chapter 1 is titled Karma, the Eternal Enigma. As I've learned, and I could be wrong, but I think enigma means mystery. So, Sutra 1. Karma is about becoming the source of one's own creation. In shifting responsibility from heaven to oneself, one becomes the very maker of one's destiny. It is very simple. It's all about realizing, as he says, in engineering actually, your responsibility is boundless. Responsibility these days has been confused with ownership or authority in a way, but it means so much more. I mean, let's break down the word as he says. Responsibility, the ability to respond. Whether you know it or not, you are continuously responding to the universe. I mean, your breath is an example of it. It's all a matter of fact of, are you conscious or not? And if you're conscious, then you will take control of your destiny. Sutra 1. Now let's move on to Chapter 2. Chapter 2. Volition, the basis of karma. Ultimately, life is neither suffering nor bliss. It is what you make it. And volition really just means, as I've learned recently, just your will in a way, and your making, I guess, if that fits. And it's definitely this kind of misconceived idea, which I used to think too, which was, I guess, taught by the Buddha, which is how life is suffering. Well, there is suffering in life, but there's also a way to transcend that. And that is where these beautiful spiritual teachers like Sadhguru, Eckhart Tolle, and so on come in to help you transcend. And it is literally in your control. That's it. That's Chapter 2. And then Chapter 3 is Karma as Memory. Sutra 3. There is only one crime against life, to make believe that you are something other than life. So powerful. You might think you have a life, and that is really just due to your psychological and intellectual mind working. But the existential reality, I mean, literally your breath itself, you exhaling what the tree inhales and you inhaling what the tree exhales, just shows how you are all one life. You don't have a life, you are life. So that's Chapter 3, Karma as a Memory. Chapter 4 is a great karmic warehouse. So let's see where Sutra is from that. And I appreciate your patience as well as presence as I flip through these pages. We can make this itself a spiritual practice. So just being present, observing the breath, and being still. Chapter 4, the great karmic warehouse. However profound it is, everything that comes from memory spells karmic bondage. You see, as I've learned from Sadhguru, memory and even imagination, but let's just stick to memory, is a very powerful tool. I mean, it helps us learn to not make the same mistakes. But most of us are suffering that memory and are attached to it. So it's all about learning to be not attached. Very simple. So that is really what this says. And when you get attached to it, that's the karmic bondage. You get bonded to the past. So learn from it, but don't be attached. That's Chapter 4. Chapter 5, how did it all begin? Pure intelligence creates memory out of itself. The rest of creation projects memory as intelligence. That is an interesting one, which I maybe overlooked when reading the Sutra. The rest of creation projects memory as intelligence. As I've realized, and this is kind of popping on the spot right now, it's essentially what I've realized from this itself, the Sutra 5 that is. A lot of our intelligence comes from the memory that we already have, which is our attachment to the past and attachment to the societal conditioning. True, beautiful memory, or intelligent memory in a way, is when you're tapping into the inner intelligence, that is actually the intelligence of the universe. And then memory is like a byproduct, right? It's something that comes after. So it's all about, realizing again, as I said earlier, to not be attached to the memory. Pay attention to the universe and then the natural intelligence within you. That can be done through just sitting still, being meditative. And then the memory will come after, in the sense that it's not as much of priority, and it's not the building block. When that becomes a building block, then everything that comes out of it is karmic bondage. So that is chapter 5 for you. And chapter 6, Karma Yoga. So let's see. Sutra 6. In losing awareness of self is a trap of karma. The hunter becomes a hunted. The architect becomes the bonded laborer. The creator becomes creation. A spider trapped in a web of its own making is a tragedy. So, very simple word. I think the key here is awareness. So whatever you do, just be aware. Just be present. Don't lose yourself with what you're doing. Become one with it, but don't lose yourself. Awareness is key. Chapter 7, Karma Yoga and the Physical Body. Okay. Sutra 7. If you take more karmic load now, when you are well and capable, later you will walk hands-free. I actually made a TikTok on this today, and it's so powerful and beautiful. The analogy just goes as this, which is what I've realized. When you're parking the car and you park backwards first, it's a little challenging. So you're handling it in the now. But when you get out, think about how easy and smooth it is. That is a huge part of what I realized from this book. It's all about learning to manage and deal with the karma now. So you can get, in a way, rid of it and then liberate it. So, chapter 7, that is. Chapter 8 is Karma Yoga and the Mental Body. Sutra 8. If you experience this moment just once, you will never be able to fall out of it. Wow. It's all about realizing that this moment is all that you have and all that you will ever have. This present moment. The past, you can only learn in the now. The future, you can only plan in the now. Stay present. That is chapter 8. Chapter 9. Karma Yoga and the Energy Body. Sutra 9. It is not about performing miracles. It is about recognizing the miracle of life that you are. It is so beautiful and profound because, as he says in a very simple way, it is about making life so ordinary that it is extraordinary. You see, I had this realization recently, which was all these existential questions that tend to come out, right? Which is, why am I here? What is the purpose of life? And so on. But if you all have ever seen Iron Man before, hopefully you have. If not, definitely watch. It's a beautiful movie. And it's a series of 3 and also connects to Avengers. But it's about realizing that, imagine you have this suit in front of you, right, which has superpowers. Are you going to waste, and let's say that the suit has a ticking time. I mean, everything is transient, right? Nothing lasts forever. So the suit has a ticking time, and as you are standing in front of it, you're questioning, what is the point of it if eventually it's going to break down? What is the point of even using the suit? And all these, in a way, unconscious questions, which take you out of the present moment. Take that suit, wear that suit, and then help others with it. Have fun. That is the same thing with this life. And let's see. Those are all the sutras. I am pretty sure. Let me see if there's any more that are stitched. There's a note to the reader, and then let's see. Oh, there's actually a lot more. Okay, more than I realized. It's called Karma Conversations. There's no chapter technically. Sutra 10. As far as the laws of existence are concerned, there is no good and bad, no crime and punishment. It is just that for every action, there is a consequence. So, really, that is a very simple truth. Good and bad are just psychologically created, societally created. Existentially, doesn't mean much. Sutra 10. Sutra 11. When there is no imprint of karma in conscious experience, every action experience becomes liberating. Truly, when there's no attachment, it's very empowering. And let us see, is there more? Sutra 12, you cannot own life, you can only live it. It's kind of what I said earlier, which is the idea that you don't have a life, you are life. It's this beautiful thing I learned from Eckhart Tolle, actually. Let's see if I can remember it. Tapping into the memory right now. And it's the idea that, what is it? It's how life is, I'm going to pull it up on my phone because I have it saved. So I appreciate your patience and presence as I am looking this up. Let's see. It's by Eckhart Tolle, by the way, which I'd highly encourage you all to check out as well. And he has provided so much wisdom upon me, which I am so grateful for. And this is how the quote goes. Life is a dancer, and you are the dance. Essentially, you're just an expression of it. Don't take life so seriously, as Sadhguru says too. So that's Sutra 12, and let's see, Sutra 13. Right now you are like a bubble that says, the air that I hold in my lungs is my air. You still have to exhale. You don't own anything. The air that you have within you, it's all about realizing when you're at that union with the universe, which is yoga, you'll be one with everything. And that the air that you breathe is not even yours, it's coming from the trees. Sutra 13 that was. Sutra 14. In maintaining distance from your thought and emotion, you can become available to the grace of the greatest beings of the past. Yeah, it's all about realizing how you can learn from the past without getting entangled. Be connected, but don't be attached. Alright, there's definitely more sutras than I expected, or than I realized. We'll keep these a lot more briefer, and I appreciate your patience. Sutra 15. You have the choice and ability to be any way you want in a given moment. That is the freedom and the curse. Most human beings are suffering their freedom. Don't be bondaged to the freedoms that we have. Awareness will help break that bondage. Sutra 16, every human being is in the process of becoming divine. Collaborating with nature's plan is all you need to do. As I've learned from Osho, actually, he recommends spending time with God or his creation. You see all these buildings, windows even behind me. It's all man's creation. When you go spend time with nature, that's God's creation. Sutra 17. Those who long to leave a footprint shall never fly. It's so simple. And he even says this, there's this beautiful quote, which is like the idea that if you put your mind to it, you can move the mountain. But as Sadhguru says, it's a beautiful, witty response. There's no need to move the mountain. You're going to cause destruction. Let it be. Stay present. And then a final quote by Sadhguru. A day is but a piece of time that lets us live and die. This day let us live and live totally. That is a wrap for karma. In terms of reflections and realizations I had from all those beautiful sutras, and a quick thing I want to talk about, actually, before I even conclude this, is, with all that being said, what exactly is karma? Let's look at the definition that he has for us. Refers to the volition with which one performs action. Karma is a mechanism by which relative existence maintains itself. Refers to past action, the cause of all bondage, that which binds one to the body and creates tendencies that rule one's life. Law of cause and effect. Beautifully said. Again, highly recommend you all get this book. So, with that being said, let's just use a real quick analogy to express what this book is and why you should get it again. One, it's really just realizing that, and the analogy that I was going to share with you all is how you imagine you jump in a pool of glue, you walk out, and you happen to walk in the middle of New York City and there's all this dust, pollution, and food and so on, right? They get stuck to you. By the end of the day, you're literally a pile of shit, using the word P, not T. And that is what karma is. Except it's not just that, it's the mental, physical, and energy bodies. This karmic that's present in all three. And so this book will help you realize, one, how to lessen the glue, and that can be done through kriyas and so on, which again, you'll learn more from the book. And realizing that there are certain karmas that you might need. And there's, the whole idea of good and bad karma is just a very subjective thing. It's societal, it's intellectual, it's psychological, it's not an existential thing. So this book will help you learn to play the game of life, really. Lessen that glue that you have, so there's less things sticking to you. So that way you're just always present and aware. And that's really it. It's so simple. This book is truly a guide to crafting your destiny. Would love to hear what you all have to say about this realization as well as reflection that I had for the book. If you've read it so far, please also comment that down below, and love to hear what you have to say in your reflections from the book. And if you've learned something new about karma, also comment that down below, or in just general, share whatever you have to say. Whether it's a gratitude, anything would be an amazing thing to hear. And if there's any other book requests for me to review, also comment that down below. I know the book Death as well as Inner Engineering by Sadhguru will also be reviewed, which I will be doing soonly. And thank you so much for taking the time. Make it a great day. Take it joyfully. Presence. Now one together. Stay conscious and ecstasy.